Looks like we're ready to go. Looks like we gotta sync the videos a little bit again, but yes. Match 4, MetaLow Prodigy. Of course, we're starting with Quickman stage as usual because of the quality of life additions that we can get. E-tank that's along the way, so we can have ourselves at least some safeties. As the randomizer can get really rough, as most of you have probably seen already. So Quickman and Flashman to get our safeties, and then it's pretty much whichever else is left, depending on where you want to go. So right now, we're just gonna see what enemies are gonna be in the way in Quickman stage, see if they can trip these guys up, and then we're gonna see what's gonna be in Quickman boss room to see what random enemy or boss we have coming up shortly.
This sounds like a Final Fantasy music.
Yep, Final Fantasy V.
And the human encyclopedia for music. I love it. Creed, you're awesome. I love it. Good stuff. Which ROM hack did it come? Do you know that?
Deus Ex Machina, used for Heatman stage.
Even better. Down to the T. Dotted his I's, crossed his T's. Man, awesome. But yeah, MetaLow and Prodigy running into chickens here in the final corridor before finding out who is behind door number 1. Words are hard.
Seems like we got Woodman today in this particular seed. Another slow-moving leaf shield.
Yeah, this gave MetaLow problems in the last game, but it looks like MetaLow had enough life to finish off the boss, and it looks like we have almost a perfect sync as both runners take down Woodman at almost the exact same time.
Man, awesome.
Pretty much a very solid start for these two runners right now. I almost want to say it's the chickens that really just kind of eke things out a little bit and even the score a little bit. So, but regardless of the matter, we're in Flashman stage for the same reason they did Quickman stage. A simple enough stage with potential to get safeties along the way. I'm pretty sure Prodigy's probably going to try to get the E-tank, while MetaLow's going to skip it.
Ooh, Prodigy's getting himself caught between the two Chanky makers there. He's struggling a little bit here, trying to get through the start of the stage.
Actually, the Chanky makers is actually one of the other things that actually is unchanged in the randomizer. They deal, of course, damage, and now the damage they deal is never randomized, but the damage they take from weapons and the buster are the same. So they will always be immune to crash bombs. They'll always be one shot to air shooters. They're the only enemy in the game that has a true set weakness.
Ooh, we see moles here. This is going to be a little rough for Prodigy as he gets immediately dumped off of the top platform, but is rewarded with a little bit of an energy power-up, so we'll see if that can help him get through the boss here.
Meanwhile, MetaLow takes out a somewhat spastic Flashman in his own boss room, but it seems to goes down really quickly with the buster, but looks like he goes even faster with the crash bombs. So Prodigy makes even shorter work of Flashman. So Prodigy makes up a little bit of time despite of some of the earlier mishaps.
And we're going to see MetaLow actually go into Bubble Man. This looks like a repeat of last seed where MetaLow chose Bubble Man third. He's been fairly inconsistent with what Robot Master he's chosen to be third. Prodigy so far has chosen Bubble Man every time to be the third Robot Master.
Bubble Man is usually the third route for general randomizer runs because of the fact that it's usually a simplified stage where you don't have to worry about using items for the most part. In this stage, using items is a little bit more of a luxury as opposed to coming in here without them. So Bubble's just a safe bet to always go third with, as both of these guys
what
do.
We're seeing from both runners here is the Bubble Man zip, where you line yourself up with the middle platform, the first block, and if you do that before you drop down to the next screen, you can skip half of this next section that we see Prodigy in right now and MetaLow coming to the end of.
So for right now, we both have seen pretty decent starts from both of our runners as we find Metal Man once again underwater in Bubble Man's room. Let's see if they can actually try to properly manipulate Metal Man this time around.
Yeah, no blades for MetaLow, so but he's not particularly weak to the Buster either. He's just taking ever so many shots to go down. Prodigy searching for a weakness, finding he can get a little bit quicker work out of this supercharged sheet he's found.
Nah, it was pretty much the same as Buster as far as damage dealt. He just probably just didn't want to dig for any other weaknesses.
Right, yeah, I agree.
It looked like Prodigy was able to do damage a little quicker, though. So it looked like he might have picked up a little bit of the time that he's lost early on here.
Both of them being like-minded and going to Airman stage where we got Metro. Probably one of my most hated enemies in this stage. And personally, as a racer that was in this tournament race, this stage definitely cost me a lot of racing. And seeing these Metroids just really just make my blood boil.
Oh, man.
Prodigy, I think you were supposed to make that jump, not fall. That is going to be a big problem for Prodigy, as he's going to lose about 35 seconds to that unfortunate death.
Case in point.
Speaking of blood boiling, I'm sure Prodigy probably sitting there with some boiling blood right now because of it. But yeah, it's still early. Still early.
I mean, there's certainly time to make it up, but what we've seen so far in each one of these games is one death basically being the difference in every game so far.
Yeah, with high-tier runners with the high stakes and their skill levels, and of course what the randomizer can potentially dish out, one death can potentially mean everything in these circumstances. As we see yet another vanilla boss in his vanilla boss room. MetaLow quickly taking out Airman, who seemed to be a little more jumpy than normal. Meanwhile, Prodigy just slugging it out with his supercharged heat. And the vanillaness continues as we find item 2 in Airman stage. MetaLow going straight to Metal Man afterwards.
Yeah, I agree with this. I mean, he doesn't have the he wants yet to zip, so I'd say Metal Man's probably the correct choice, seeing that he's already done Airman, and item 2 will definitely help him in Metal. So I'd much rather have the zips in Wood, Heat, and Crash versus the one in Metal. Or, you know, who knows? I mean, maybe a good choice would also be going to Wood, because even though you want to do good Wood, it's not always the best option, as to, you know, there could be a soft log potential there and stuff like that. So, item 2 is also good to just, you know, skip over some of Wood. But yeah, Prodigy on the same page going to Metal Man stage.
We're about to see how Prodigy deals with the continuous flow of chickens that are in the first half, while MetaLow, of course, utilizes the item 2 and just decides to try to fly over everything for the majority of the second half.
Oh, looks like fried chicken on Prodigy's side, just using that charged heat and mowing them down left and right.
MetaLow's the first to reach the Metal Man corridor. About to see who we about to face in the conveyor room of Metal Man. And we're about to find Heat Man this time around. Very decently fast Heat Man, but also weak to Buster. So this should be a relatively decent fight as long as crap like that doesn't happen.
Ooh, that was a close one.
Taking a body shot on Heat Man in any circumstance is very ill-advised. MetaLow taking the risk, hoping that he'll get the last hit before Heat Man kills him. Just lucky enough that Heat Man was able to die before he did, and he's able to get by Metal Man's stage. And he's on his way to Woodman.
Speaking of Woodman, MetaLow tried the same strategy in the last game, but Woodman was the boss that got him before he was able to put the final hit onto the boss. And that was probably a pretty big reason why MetaLow ended up losing Game 3. And Prodigy's in a very similar situation with Heat Man, but pulls it through using the iframes to guarantee the last hit.
MetaLow going through the Joe Forest in Woodman stage, about to go through the hot dogs, hopefully figure out what kills them fast. And Leaf Shield annihilates our frienders, and I'm pretty sure we don't have any other items right now to perform good woods, so I think we're going to be seeing a normal route through Woodman stage this time around. No zips allowed.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're going to see a little Game 1. It's like Heat Man and Crash Man have Item 1 and Item 3 gated away behind them.
Well, we gotta see what's behind Woodman. Woodman also has the potential to have items 1 or 3 as well. What's gonna be here is gonna dictate where these guys are gonna go.
Oh yeah, that is true. Yeah, Woodman could have an item.
So for those that might be new here and wondering why we're talking about the randomness of items 1, 2, and 3 are randomized throughout the 8 bosses. Even though we found item 2 in Airman stage, this particular seed, items 1 and 3 are still available somewhere else. So we might see either one of those 2 remaining items in this stage. So as MetaLow is about to fight the boss that's going to be in Woodman's room, we're hoping to see an item in this stage as well, and hopefully a good item so they can go through either Heat Man or Crash Man as fast as possible.
Well, if you get Item 1 or Item 3 from this boss, does it change which boss you go into?
Actually, it can. You would like to probably have Item 3 to do Heat Man stage easier, since by this time you probably won't know what Item 1's gonna do, with Item 1 being the only randomized attribute. So Item 1 is a wild card. Item 3 is more as a safe bet to go to Heat Man stage. But unfortunately, as you just saw, we got no items from Woodman. So they're gonna have to make a choice, and usually they definitely probably will go to Heat Man first, as opposed to going to Crash Man. Just to hope that Item 1 is in the stage.
On MetaLow's side, he went into Heat Man, and he's gonna save Crash Man for last. But that means at least one of Item 1 or Item 3 are gated behind the Crash Man stage itself.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on would you rather through a section with Yoku blocks prior to the big lava section with the Yoku blocks, like two different Yoku block sections, or would you rather go through 3 elevator screens? Personally, I think I would go to Crash in this situation, just to go and try to get Item 3 or Item 1 to use on Heat stage. But then again, I mean, man, if you're guaranteed one of these items, so I mean that'll make the Crash climb faster. And if you do end up finding Item 1, you can get the Crash skips the elevators.
Personally, I'd rather go to Heat stage that these two are going through now, because Crash Man stage is such a wild card, and having potentially bad enemies for the elevators, especially if item 1 is in Heat stage, you can bypass the elevator sections and potentially a very annoying set of enemies to go through the elevator sections on. So honestly, I agree with Prodigy and MetaLow's choice of going to Heat Man instead of going to Crash Man. Shortens the stage above. Well, in any case, you're going to be dealing with a long stage regardless. Anyway, we find Crash Man in Heat Man room. A short hopper, but not really aggressive. So MetaLow should be taking care of him pretty... Yeah, he takes him out pretty simple enough.
Now Prodigy's taking the time to... oh no. Took the time to try to figure out a crash wall weakness, but got hit by a carrot missile and got sent to another death. This is looking more and more like we're going to a Game 5 with Prodigy making a second mistake.
Meanwhile, we find item 3 being in Heat Man stage, so we're not going to have any item 1 zipping in this game. Well, at least for the 8 robos. So they're going to have to go through at least 2 sets of elevator sections. But it looks like the enemies in this stage are going to be favorable for the elevator sections. One nuance that you're going to realize in Mega Man 2 Randomizer and Crash Man stage is that the very first enemy you see in the very first screen of Crash Man stage are going to be the same set of enemies you see in the elevator sections. So if you see Shotmen in the first screens of Crash Man stage, more than likely you're going to see what you're seeing right now and seeing a set of Shotmen throughout the entire elevator sections. So the first screen will determine a lot of what you're going to be dealing with in the elevator sections in Crash Man stage as far as the randomizer goes.
Yeah, and it actually worked out pretty well for MetaLow. He made pretty quick work of getting through the stage anyway. Looks like he will still more than likely be sub 20 on RoboMasters, even without item 1, item 3 to zip through some of these stages. So it's really good news for him, as Prodigy is falling ever so slightly behind even further. Probably about a little over half a stage, if not 3/4 of a stage behind.
MetaLow having some slight issues with the crash climb, especially with the frogs that just seem to be blocking the way on the right side of the screen. But seems like he's gonna decide to take the left side and try to brute force his way up.
Oh, that's gonna be real tough. The frogs are catching the very tip of the ladder, which... Oh, that's... Ooh, nice play, MetaLow. Using the leaf shield to just clip the big frog and get rid of the small frogs as well.
Yeah, he definitely found the answer there. I mean, my answer... Ash Time Stopper. But yeah, MetaLow making it through. Prodigy actually getting his first vertical zip here. MetaLow actually missed that one. Saves probably about 3 seconds to 3 to 5 seconds to get up across that screen.
Oh, we got ourselves a very, very special guest, a hugging Bubble Man. This is one of the randomized AI attributes that Bubble Man can have, of a moving, chasing Bubble Man that pretty much just hugs your hitbox. I call it the Deus Ex Machina Bubble Man because that AI setup is very similar to one that is in that very same ROM hack, where Bubble Man just pretty much just chases you all over the screen.
Now, it looks like Prodigy's going with the Flash Stopper route. And it looks like he was able to pull it off before, you know, the frogs are too much trouble in that first section of the ladder climb and crash. But we're coming to the Wily 1 stage, And just like game 1, 2, and 3 before, we have a little game we like to play, and it's called Guess the Color and Weakness of the Dragon. I know one of these days we should work on the name of that game, but it is what it is.
We don't need a name for it. We just go ahead and just guess colors and weaknesses. That's all there is to it. We don't need a fancy name. But I digress. Let's guess these things. So today, for this let's do our classic pink dragon, and we're gonna stick with the pink vibe and go with quick boomerang, vanilla weakness.
Alright, I'm gonna go a blue dragon yet again, and I am going to say bubble lead.
I'm gonna pull a number off of Monty Python and say blue, no, yellow! Color the weak. How about Leaf Shield? I haven't seen Leaf Shield. I don't think. Not tonight, anyway. Today. So, yeah. Yellow Dragon, weak to Leaf Shield. Final answer. Can I have
it's worth noting that MetaLow actually utilized one of the vertical Wily zips in this stage. The other one was just good enough where MetaLow felt confident that he would try to do one of the first vertical zips in Wily 1 and was able to successfully do it. So he gained quite a bit of time in Wily 1. Meanwhile, it looks like a vomit green dragon in my eyes.
I'm calling that yellow. Oh, yellow, I got it.
Oh, MetaLow!
Ah!
No! Oh, Prodigy's back in this game because that's gonna cost MetaLow well over a minute to that death. Oh no!
And he's down
Prodigy's a screen behind at this point.
Not anymore. Right now, he's gonna be a little bit of screen ahead if he's able to. Yep. Now he bypasses the lead. Prodigy just barely eked it out, doing the same vertical zip that MetaLow successfully did at first. So Prodigy just pretty much right on his. Oh, he's doing the second one too.
Nice.
Oh wow! Prodigy pulling out all the stops. Massive comeback by Prodigy with MetaLow making a huge, costly mistake on the dragon and taking a death.
Prodigy utilizing those Mega Man 2 smarts that he's learned over the course of the time and utilizing both Wily Zips, which is really hard to do given the randomized attributes of item 1. The first one is probably more guaranteed than the second. Props to Prodigy for taking that risk and successfully doing it as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely say that dragon looks similar to my stuffed dragon named Spike that I have here behind me. That's like my homeboy. Yeah, that's Spike right there, and he's dead.
Well, MetaLow was able to use his knowledge of what weapon was useful to still keep the lead coming out of Wily 1, but that minute-and-a-half lead is now down to 10 seconds.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for him. He was ahead, now he's behind, but now he's ahead again. Like, yeah, gotta love these quick lead changes as MetaLow makes it. He's flying on his item too. Gonna grab the seed tank and keep going. I mean, the lead can change once again here if MetaLow decides to stop and check for weaknesses as Prodigy. Maybe not. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, I don't think Prodigy has checked a wall weakness yet that he didn't already know in this section of the game.
Well, at this point, it really didn't matter. MetaLow just put it on heat and it just went down quick. So MetaLow knows the weakness of the wall, while Prodigy feeling like he's a little bit behind, or probably just his way of doing Wily 2 now and just doing that to force a habit, just ignores trying to guess the wall weakness, wanted to save it for the Boo Beam fight.
Well, it's entirely possible if we've seen the runners zip into that boss room. You may not even need to hit a single crash wall if you get the leaf shield or the metal blade as the turret weakness.
True, but having the knowledge is still helpful in case that is not the case. So knowing that atomic fire is a one-shot weakness for the walls is still good knowledge, as we find that air shooter is a decent weakness for Pico.
Oh, MetaLow, if he misses another shot, he's gonna have to switch off of this air shooter. It's gonna be very close. He'll have minimal energy left.
He got minimal life energy as well, but he's managed to just squeak it out just barely. Meanwhile, Prodigy find atomic fire one-shotting these flying toasters and just hopefully take these things out much faster than, well, never mind. He decides to go straight back to the air shooter.
Which that actually might end up helping him in the long run. It's, that atomic shooter for atomic fire, the walls, and Wily. He's gonna have the weapon energy to take you to do it. So
Conservation of weapon energy will always be a major.
That's a problem for MetaLow. I think the blue for MetaLow's Mega Man means that he's made out of balloons, and he just went pop. I don't think that's what's supposed to happen.
No way, that's not supposed to happen at all. So yet again, we got ourselves another close situation here.
I want to leave. You take it. No, you take it. No. But MetaLow maintaining his lead. So good stuff.
This is pretty much the situation we keep talking about. These little situations that MetaLow has finding himself in, being just slightly sloppy, allowing Prodigy to catch up, be on his heels, or even take the lead. These things are not the things that MetaLow is usually known for from this tournament. He's usually known from just dominating his opponents from the word go, but this time MetaLow, we're seeing the exact situation we're seeing from his first bracket match, like we saw in Stuffy Things, being a little sloppier than normal. They're starting to cost him races now.
Oh, and Prodigy gets it right off the bat, going straight for the bubble lead. MetaLow trying a couple other weapons in between. And we've got a lead that's, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds between our runners going into Wily 4. And at one point going in right before the dragon, MetaLow had almost a minute and a half lead in the Wily 1 stage. So Prodigy is right there right now, and it's almost completely because of MetaLow's just lack of execution, making a mistake.
Yeah, it seemed like that is MetaLow's losing as opposed to Prodigy winning. Prodigy is a very skilled runner, but we compare the skill levels between the two. MetaLow is usually the better racer, but Prodigy is just showing that he has the stuff, he has the skills, he has the consistency to make as little mistakes as possible in order to keep himself right on MetaLow's heel.
Like literally right on the hill, like synced up pretty much.
Yeah, they're going into the first elevator room almost at the same time. MetaLow maybe a second ahead at this point.
Yeah, it's really close.
MetaLow making some slight
Prodigy,
issues.
Taking the lead now by very aggressively damage boosting.
Yeah, MetaLow definitely hesitated.
but I know MetaLow's gonna go for this item 3 step. So oh, you're gonna do it with item 1 this time.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna put him in the lead. And now we're there, tied up.
So MetaLow's gonna have a knowledge advantage, knowing crash wall weaknesses are.
And it looks like Air Shooter yet again, being a weakness for the Boo Beam cannons. Actually, with the vertical reach of the Air Shooters for this particular seed, they might not have to destroy the walls this time around. But I think they did the right decision and destroyed the walls to make it safe. Prodigy having a little bit of issue with Boo Beam though, giving MetaLow just a little bit more breathing room, but still not much.
Yeah, I'm not too sure why he went around. He could have just stayed on the bottom and shut the air shooter up to kill the last one, but he went ahead and went around and jumped back up there. But hey, you know, that did lose him a couple seconds there, but hey, we're in the refights. MetaLow's not even got one down, and she's going in as well. I mean, it's so close. You couldn't ask for closer.
Yeah, right now we're looking at a 1 Robot Master refight lead for MetaLow. And knowing how to do these refights are gonna wind up becoming really key, especially with enemies like Bubble Man that's just gonna hug your hitbox. So for right now, we're just seeing who's gonna make the first mistake. Who's gonna be the one to trip up first between the refights? So right now, it's gonna be that issue, and of course the Wily Machine, if it's Buster Weak or not, that's gonna possibly determine how the climax of the race is gonna be before we're gonna see the alien fight. It almost seemed like both our guys had a little bit of trouble dealing with Metal Man for a bit.
Well, it's that water refight. It always seems to be more trouble than it's. The boss that you end up getting in the Bubble Man stage is always trouble.
Yeah, I mean, Metal Man just wanted to party, you know, dance party there, and Crash Man does too. He's all jumping up and down, he's excited. Prodigy gets done with Airman, moving on to Crash himself. Literally, not even a full master party.
And MetaLow using an E-Tank, Prodigy, I would contend, might have wasted a little bit of time earlier going for the energy drop, which was on the right side of the screen when he defeated the boss.
Yeah, but Prodigy picks up a few seconds there by figuring out that Bubble is the weakness for Mr. Crashman there. And he finds the weakness for Flash, too, as Crash Bomb, so he definitely picked up some time there as well. He's ahead now.
Oh, yeah, not only picked up time, but now he's going into the Heatman fight with a few second advantage.
Is what we're talking about is those little all those little slip ups or those little bits of knowledge that winds up making huge dividends even with a short amount of time, as Prodigy is on his last refight with MetaLow just climbing in just a few seconds after.
And I think Prodigy has another weakness at the ready with Leap Shield.
But it was only
once again.
But it was a secondary weakness damage. The Buster was a little bit faster. Now we're about to see Buster Weak Wily Machine.
Of course, we could only have a Buster Weak Wily Machine, and it will come down to the alien and Victory Road to see which one of our runners will take this game. If MetaLow is able to keep this lead, we're going to a Game 5. If Prodigy is able to solve the alien quicker, this will be a final Victory Road, as Prodigy will win 3-1.
It's literally not even a full second. It's like half a second. This is so tense right now. Both going right. Both have
man, and they both have the same weapon in hand with almost the exact same energy.
The same idea.
Item 1,
both
they're going for a zip.
Prodigy over Zips!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh, MetaLow makes it in.
Oh, Prodigy over-zips, and it's gonna end up costing him a death.
We don't know, but we don't know what MetaLow's gonna find as far as weaknesses. If he gets a bad weakness, there could be some. Prodigy can still have a chance to win this, but it looks like MetaLow's weapon ammo is pretty safe.
Oh, it's not air shooter.
It's not over.
Oh, it's
either.
the leaf shield.
Oh, overzips again though.
Oh no, Prodigy! Oh, this was so close, and an overzip ends up probably costing Prodigy Game 4. MetaLow taking it, and we're going to a Game 5.
Going to Game 5. MetaLow taking it with official SRL time of 35 minutes and 27 seconds. And Prodigy overzipping twice, unfortunately, is going to just finish up a little bit later than that. So let's see where the dot done is.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got ourselves a Game 5. Who'd have thought?
Well, I can't say going in that I wasn't hoping for Game 5 right at the start, but, you know. Wow, in the way this one went down, too. Oh. Prodigy, I can understand why he's finishing this one out, because there's probably a little bit of tilt factor going on here.
Yeah, and that's official SRL time of 36 minutes 40 seconds. GG's to both of these guys. What a close finish to push a Game 5. Good stuff to MetaLow. Making it 2-2 in this grand final set of the Mega Man 2 Randomizer tournament. Jeez, guys. I couldn't... You can't ask for it.
I know I couldn't. When I was facing these two guys in the final brackets, these two guys were people I was scared of. I was scared of MetaLow for his abilities to just completely dominate his opponent, while Prodigy, I keep saying this, and I'm gonna keep saying it, he's a scientist in the game. He keeps improving during randomizer seeds, trying to know every possible in and out of every situation the seed can possibly give him. And right now, I'm seeing the two best randomizer runners, Game 5, back-to-back, trading wins, trading losses. Honestly, I couldn't ask for anything better than this.
Yeah, it's definitely a slobber knocker. And man, I mean, you got... These guys would call it sloppiness and all that stuff, but I mean, to me, it was amazing. I mean... Can't ask for anything closer. Like literally, that was so close. I mean, unfortunately, Prodigy, you know, walking through the last of Game 4 has to be, you know, he's going for this zip. He's regretting going for the zip. I'm sure he probably just wanted to walk right, but it was smart that he went for the zip. And the fact that they both went for the zip and MetaLow got it. If Prodigy would have got it, that could have been a completely different story. But unfortunately, Prodigy did overzip, and then he overzipped again. And then, yeah, that's how the story went. MetaLow takes Game 4, so Game 5 coming up pretty soon.
So who's the lucky participant who's dishing out this seed this time, Charlie boy?
This time, for the final seed, we actually have a Squidman. So. Hope you guys enjoy Squidman. He rolls plenty of seeds for the randomizer community races every Sunday. So yeah, he's been kind enough to roll us one for this match as well. He was a seed distributor during the tournament as well. And yeah, if I actually have a seed that I rolled as well, but I'm going to go ahead and use his, and mine will be a backup seed just in case something happened, or in case it happened to any of these. I'll go ahead and distribute that to everyone after the tournament, just in case you guys want to run what could have potentially been a grand final seed. But yeah, versus this one, definitely Squidman did it, and he usually rolls good seeds, actually, to be honest. Like, I played some of the seeds.
History says otherwise, honestly. I've heard, quote-unquote, legends about Squidman seeds. That Squidman seeds are kind of some of the more interesting seeds as far as difficulty goes. So we're going to see what kind of seed that we're going to have for our final match, our Game 5 between MetaLow and Prodigy. Is it going to be a friendly seed, or is it going to be the seed that we usually hear from the randomizer community that Squidman usually dishes out?
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see what's in store here. I mean, I'm excited. I don't know. Usually, I will say on Sundays we usually fancy words instead of a randomized jumbled of letters. Squidman has rolled like funny seeds and whatnot, and we've done the troll seed, and we've done the hard seed, the easy seed, and stuff like that. And you know, some of them are good, and some of them are actually really bad. You know, it's good to see you know, one of the more prominent runs. He did make it quite far in the tournament himself, as you know, he got 5th place, him and stuff and things. So yeah, it's good to see another seed from Squidman.
All right, final quick discussion before the race starts. We got two matches all. Who do you think is gonna the final match and win the entire tournament? Very important now. Who you gonna think is gonna win it all now? You see what these two had in store. You saw how mistakes have caused both of these guys to run. So what is gonna be the determining factor and who's gonna win it all?
And I gotta plead the 5th here. I mean, you got MetaLow, who has been such a dominating force in this tournament, and now it's not such a domination as Prodigy has come in and showed him, hey, you know, maybe last week you were on top, you were ahead of me, but I'm coming for the throne, and I'm coming for and I mean, it's all down to this, guys. Last match, last race, winner take all.
Frigo, what you got?
This is rough, because I look at the last seed and I go, alright, Prodigy had every right to win Game 4 there, and I think the overzip cost him. We may not even have needed this game. I think Prodigy, if he comes out of the gate strong, he will win this game. MetaLow, don't get me wrong, he's been great this whole tournament, but so far in these first 4 games, he's been a little bit sloppy, and I think MetaLow has shown a couple chinks in the armor, I believe the expression is, and MetaLow, if he makes the mistakes he's been making in games 1, 3, and 4, it's Prodigy's Game 5 to win. However, MetaLow could show up like he did in Game 2 and just blow Prodigy right out of the water. So, if I had to, you know, pick, I'm going to say right now I believe Prodigy is going to win Game 5, but I can easily make a case for both of these runners. It's that close.
I pretty much agree with you the entire way. It's all dependent on if MetaLow can avoid the mistakes. Right now, MetaLow is the one that seems to be causing the most issues when he makes the mistakes, as opposed to the Prodigy making the mistakes. When MetaLow gets sloppy, he gets really sloppy, and it winds up causing him races, while Prodigy is just being a little more consistent, a little more careful, and trying to be a little bit wise about how the seed gives him and what he deals with it. So for right now, the advantage is on Prodigy's side. But if this is a seed where MetaLow gets everything in his favor, in a skill set 1-to-1, MetaLow can win and will win Game 5. But if I have to make a choice, and I will man up and make this choice, Prodigy is gonna be the one that's gonna win this. Because right now we're seeing MetaLow just making too many mistakes right now, and it looks like we got the countdown from IRC. Time to get hyped, people. Game 5, final match, 2-2, Prodigy versus MetaLow. Let's go.
Yeah, buddy. Game 5, we're in there, and we are starting with Quickman once again.